Howdy and welcome back. I'm Oliver the Shoe Man, and today we got a fairly simple job. We got a pair of, these are Tony Lama boots. I'm not too sure what the uppers are, like what as far as what skin they are, but they are a really cool looking pair of boots. Not very worn, or not worn very much, but this customer always likes to send his shoes in to replace the leather soles with some rubber soles. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be taking these leather soles off and putting some rubber soles on. Now, I do a lot of these, I guess, leather to rubber sole conversions on cowboy boots for a few reasons. One main reason being just the grip that you get with the rubber sole versus a leather sole is unmatched. Like, I remember when I first tried on my first pair of cowboy boots some years ago, I never knew that they had leather soles. This was before I even knew what shoe repair was. I took one or two steps and about fell and busted my butt. So from then on, I mean, I always like to put rubber soles. I mean, I've got a pair of leather soles on my boots right now. These are the Thursday boots, and I'm trying out a leather sole that I got. I haven't had any issues as far as slipping. I've only been wearing them, I want to say, a few weeks. But the only reason I'm doing those with leather is to try out the leather sole as far as like the durability and stuff like that. Otherwise, I much rather prefer rubber soles. And then we get into obviously the durability side of it. Leather or rubber lasts longer than leather. So the only really time you want a leather sole, like actually need a leather sole, is when you're riding horses. So your boots don't get stuck in the stirrups, and when you're like dancing, you want to slide across the floor a lot easier. You do leather soles. Although some people they like the rubber sole still to dance in. I mean, something like this doesn't have a whole bunch of grip and tread on it to where it's gonna keep you from sliding. So it's not gonna ruin it. But yeah, that's a couple reasons. And then, in my opinion, rubber soles are a little bit more comfortable compared to the leather soles, because the rubber sole has some give to it because it's a rubber, so it's more of a, I guess, a cushier feel on your foot. But with leather soles, you kind of have, yeah, it's kind of a little bit, it's more stiffer, it's going to be stiffer, but over time I think it's going to be a lot more comfortable compared to the rubber sole, simply because it's going to start to mold to your foot, and you're going to have something like your when you have the inner sole, you have the sole all kind of broken in and molded to your feet. Oh man, it is really comfortable. Nothing feels like a sock. So that's why I like to do a leather midsole and then the rubber sole on top of that. So I kind of get the combination of both the durability of a rubber sole, the comfort of a rubber sole, and over time, once I break that leather midsole into my foot, then I get that extra added comforts. And I also just like an extra layer of material between my foot and the ground. That's me personally. But yeah, that's some pros and cons to the leather versus rubber soles. I know some people, they think if you put a rubber sole on a pair of boots, you're ruining them. That's because, I mean, originally and classically, I guess the cowboy boots were meant to have leather soles. And so they think putting a rubber sole on there, you're ruining it. It's kind of like putting a Ford motor in an engine, or a Ford motor in a Chevy car. It's like almost blasphemy at that point. But I mean, it doesn't really change, depending on what sole you go with, it doesn't change the edge profile that much and that drastically. And you'll see here at the end, once I get these all done, it's not going to change them too much, especially since we're going to do a brown edge finish. So yeah, so this is held on by hold fast construction, which means this leather footbed is all one piece. This is your metal shank. I'll go ahead and re-glue that in. You have a plastic heel rand, and these nails are the ring shank nails or threaded nails that held the heel base on. Those get nailed from the inside of the boots, which I'm going to pull up this sock liner so that we can get those nails out. And because they were nailed in from the inside, we have to take them out from the inside. One side of it. Then I reach in with my pliers and you pull them out. And it's as simple as that. I make it look simple because I've done hundreds of boots like this. When I first started learning, I would sit here for like a good 5 to 10 minutes trying to find the stupid nail, trying to get that head, grab it with it, because you can't, I mean, I guess you can go over it, but the way I like to do it is kind of, so you have the nail here, instead of trying to go over it like that, I go off to the side and I slide in and then I grab it. It kind of helps me look around without actually seeing inside the boot. But you know, this would frustrate the heck out of me when I first learned, because you can't see what you're doing, so you're kind of going in there. You got to use the pliers to feel around. All right, there you go. I know you can't see it in there, barely, but all the nails are out. So now, typically with hold fasts, they come with like a leather piece, a leather filler. This one doesn't. I'm gonna go ahead and put a very thin piece of cork in there, just because there's a little bit of a cavity in there, and I want to fill that cavity before we go ahead and put the rubber sole on. And I'll go ahead and sand that flush so it'll be super thin, and then we'll go ahead and glue the shank back in, and then we will be ready for our soles. Alrighty, we are ready to put this shank back in. And that's kind of hard for you guys to see kind of what I'm seeing, because you're kind of looking at it from the side view. I'll show you the bottom when I'm done with it. Tap that into place. Put this in there. Okay, now we gotta sand this flush so it's not so protruding. Because if you leave this like this, it's not gonna be good. The sole's gonna go on top, and it's gonna be it's just the whole world of not good. Sand this. We're gonna sand and clean up this heel rand. Get some glue here, glue on the sole, get it stuck together, and then stitch it. Put your heel on, trim it, and you should be good to go. So while the soles are drying, I figured I'd put the heels on. I like to put the rubber heel on first so that I can sand the breast area, which is this inside piece. Because once it's on the shoe, it's very hard to sand in there and make it look really nice and cleaned up. So I'll go ahead and glue it on, clean this side up, and then this will be ready to glue on the shoe. These are some vintage, new old stock cat's paw cowboy heels. They don't make these anymore, but I have a few left over from a shop that I bought out. I only have one size left, so I can only use it on a few pairs of boots. But they're really cool, they're really good, durable rubber heels. Very similar to the Vibrant ones we use. Those holes have washers built in them. And so when you go ahead and drive your nail in, that washer kind of holds and sucks this rubber piece up into the heel base. So yeah, there we go. We'll go ahead and get this sanded, re-dyed, cleaned, and then this will be ready to go onto the boot once we have the soles ready. Okay, now time for our soles to be glued on. Let's show you guys. Now, I mean, there's not much of, there is a pattern that you kind of want to center, so you gotta be careful with how you center it. I mean, it's not structurally necessary to center. Man, this is super close. Not structurally required to center it, but it looks nice. This is my cutter. It's a 5-in-1. It's got a little blade, and over here you can't see it, but there's a handle that spins the blade. And so we're just going to trim off the excess. Sometimes I like doing this. Sometimes I like using a knife. But I figured I'd show you guys this. I can't. There you go. All right. I want to show you guys my new sewing station. Got my 2 sewing machines right there. All my thread is hanging up there. If you guys remember, this didn't used to look like that. That was kind of right there, but this was off to this side and facing this way. So I kind of turned it to where I now have a good workstation. That's where I work. So I work here, turn around, stitch if I need to. Sanders right there. Back to my station. Just a nice little circle. That's kind of what you want for the most, I guess, what do you want to call it? There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't seem to remember it right now. Maybe I'll remember it after I stitch it. So we're gonna stitch these soles on now. You're gonna trim, got the groove. Efficient. The most efficient workspace. That's why I got it. So we're gonna stitch these on. Loud noise coming up. Use yellow thread on the bottom, black thread on top, just like it was originally. Can't tell, obviously, because it's a black welt and black thread. Okay, so got the heels on. Got the heel base on, rubber heels. You can see the heel breast area is nice and clean. Now we're going to be putting some nails into the rubber heel in order to secure it on. Because I just I glued it on to be able to sand that area in. So now we're just going to put some nails in there. These are the same nails. I have to take that one out. These are the same nails that are holding the heel base on from the inside. They're just now holding them on from the outside. So we're gonna go ahead and countersink them. I have to take that one back out because it bent, and probably that one. But we'll see here. All right, there you go. I'm just gonna fix that one real quick. We do our final sand, trim, clean condition, and these are good to go. We are done with another really cool pair of shoes, cowboy boots. It was a fairly simple job, just taking the leather soles off, putting on some rubber soles for the customer for better grip and durability. Those cool cat's paw heels, Vibram. These are the 700 rubber soles. They do make a matching heel like this, but the reason we went with that is because if you look, the thickness is almost double that. So we would have to cut down into the heel block, and then you would kind of lose that cowboy style heel block where you have the sole, a nice leather heel base, and then the rubber heel. So we wanted to maintain that look, which is why we went with a cat's paw cowboy heel. That's just about it. I mean, not much to the uppers we did because they were fairly new, hardly worn. But yeah, really cool boots. Really cool boots. So thank you guys for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you liked it and you want to see some more, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. And if you have any questions about a repair you want to send in, whether it's doing the same thing we did here or replacing leather soles, we have so many different soles to choose from. Just go ahead and contact me. All my information will be down below in the description. And that just about wraps everything up. Thank you guys again. God bless you. See you all in the next one.